Many AWS customers have come to enjoy the benefits of Amazon Simple Storage Service, or S3, for its scalability, data availability, durability, and performance. Amazon S3 has become the destination to build, store, and grow for customers of all sizes and industries to protect any amount of data for virtually any use case, including those such as data lakes, cloud-native applications, and mobile applications too. In recent years, our customers have asked us for ways to be able to build faster and run faster, especially for their performance-critical workloads. Hi, my name is Christy Lee. I'm a Principal Storage Solutions Architect with AWS, and I'm excited to share with you how you can get started with Amazon S3 Express OneZone. Amazon S3 Express OneZone is Amazon's new high-performance object storage offering. It is purpose-built to deliver consistent single-digit millisecond latency for your most frequently accessed data and latency-sensitive applications. Now, you may be wondering, well, how much faster is Amazon S3 Express? We've designed it to be up to 10 times faster than Amazon S3 Standard while delivering hundreds of thousands of transactions per second, or TPS, per bucket. S3 Express OneZone is the first S3 storage class where you can specify which availability zone you would like to store your objects. This allows you to co-locate compute resources such as EC2, EKS, and ECS to achieve that lower latency and higher throughput. The way S3 Express OneZone optimizes performance is with purpose-built hardware and software to achieve optimized data processing speeds. You'll be able to use S3 Express OneZone with analytics, machine learning workloads, open source frameworks such as PyTorch to accelerate performance-critical workloads while reducing overall total cost of ownership due to quicker processing times resulting from lower compute costs overall. With S3 Express OneZone, you'll be able to accelerate your machine learning and analytics workloads with Amazon's fully managed services such as EMR, Athena, and SageMaker. We look forward to seeing what our customers will be able to do with these performance improvements for their workloads and use cases. A couple of recommendations if you are looking to get started. With S3 Express OneZone, we introduce S3 directory buckets where your S3 Express OneZone objects are stored in a single availability zone of your choosing. For your computer and applications to access your directory buckets, we recommend a VPC gateway endpoint per VPC for routing traffic within your VPC over Amazon's private network. By default, users will need to be granted permissions in order to access new S3 directory buckets and their S3 Express OneZone objects. S3 Express introduces a new fast authorization model through the use of the Create Session API. This is to give you control of users, groups, and roles for access to S3 Express OneZone objects. And with the new enhancements and APIs, be sure to check that you're using the latest AWS SDK software development kit and CLI versions to be able to access those new S3 Express APIs. We'll be jumping into a demo, but as a quick overview of what the demo will show, we'll show you how to create a new S3 directory bucket, as well as how do you import a sample dataset between an S3 general purpose bucket into an S3 directory bucket. Let's get into it. To get started with Amazon S3 Express, we'll first log into the AWS console and browse to the Amazon S3 page. If you're coming in from the home page, you'll be able to search for S3 at the top and jump into the S3 page that way. One thing you'll notice is that you'll now have the option to choose between bucket types. There are going to be general purpose buckets as well as S3 directory buckets. General purpose buckets are the default Amazon S3 bucket type that are used for the vast majority of S3 use cases. These support a mix of storage classes and redundantly store objects across multiple availability zones. If you're an existing Amazon S3 customer, it's likely you already have a couple of general purpose buckets deployed today. If you're looking to try out Amazon S3 Express OneZone, we will need to create a new type of bucket, being the directory buckets, to achieve that faster throughput and lower latency for our object access for those performance critical applications. We'll first select the region we wish to deploy in. For our demo, we're going to choose Oregon or US West 2, and we'll hit Create button, Create Bucket. You'll notice by default, when we choose from the Directory Bucket tab, it'll automatically choose the directory bucket for our new bucket type. You can easily switch between these types if you desire. You'll also need to specify the availability zone where you would like to deploy to. This will be ideal for your performance if you choose the availability zone that is co-located with your compute resources. Now, you may be wondering, can I still access my directory buckets and my S3 Express OneZone objects if I deploy my compute resources in a different availability zone but in the same region? Yes, you can. However, for the best performance, we do recommend that these be co-located in the same AZ or availability zone. S3 Express OneZone objects are redundantly stored in a single AZ. We do recommend that for longer term storage, making copies of your business critical datasets in a S3 general purpose bucket also. When choosing your bucket names will need to be unique within your chosen availability zone. Let's pop in our bucket name for this demo, which is S3 Express Getting Started Demo. You'll notice for the full bucket name, it will be suffixed with the region as well as availability zone. Let's touch on security. S3 directory buckets will have S3 block public access on by default. Also, all objects stored in S3 Express OneZone are automatically encrypted with Amazon S3 managed keys, otherwise known as SSE-SE. So now that we've configured our region, the type of bucket being general purpose or directory, the bucket name, we are ready to go ahead and create our bucket. All right, so there we go. Our new directory bucket is ready for use. All new buckets will be empty when first created. So let's do our next step of the demo, which is going to be to import from our general purpose buckets. You'll notice a new import button available here. This allows us to easily move our objects between our general purpose buckets and our directory buckets within the same region. To set up our import job, we will simply browse S3. We'll search for the bucket we wish to import our objects from. One moment here. Let me also preview for you the sample data set that we'll be importing over. So within this prefix, we've got a couple of prefixes of sample data set, but we've also got a sample CSV file. We will choose this as the source to import over to our directory bucket. You can then choose which permission set to use, either to create a new IAM role or an existing IAM role for this particular import job. For our demo, we'll just let it create a new IAM role. We'll confirm that this is the destination, so our getting started demo bucket that we would like to import into. And to verify, all objects copied over will be stored into the S3 Express OneZone storage class. Let's start our import job. Once you've created your import job, you'll be able to monitor the import progress via S3 batch operations. Import is fully managed by Amazon S3 batch operations, a feature of Amazon S3 that lets you manage billions of objects with just a few clicks. Import jobs will automatically create a manifest for which objects to copy between your S3 general purpose bucket and the S3 directory bucket based on the selected prefix. Previewing our job, we can see here that for our sample dataset directory, we do have 5,000 objects listed in this manifest. So it's going to take a couple minutes for us to copy over or import over between the two buckets. What we'll do is we'll check back within a few minutes to see when our import job's complete, and then we'll take a look at the objects in our new directory bucket. So it takes a couple of minutes for the import job to complete its task. You'll be able to monitor its progress. From here, we can see that it's been about 12 minutes, and we've been able to complete our import of about 5,000 objects into our S3 directory bucket. Let's go over and make sure that our objects are within our directory bucket as expected. So here we can see our sample dataset, and within it, it's got the sample dataset folders, as well as that CSV file as showed before. With the import job complete, you are now ready to start using S3 Express OneZone for your various compute-intensive use cases that need single-digit millisecond latency and high throughput compared to S3 standard. We are excited to see how you will make the most of our new Amazon S3 Express OneZone offering for your performance-critical applications across machine learning, analytics, and much more. Thank you for your time.